My name is Elizabeth Hassab. I am 16. Going to school lunch makes me feel kind of anxious. There's a lot of people around, and I don't really have a lot of friends in certain lunches, so it's hard to walk in a lunchroom by yourself and everyone's kind of looking at you, wondering why you're alone. Feel judged. It hasn't always been that way for me because in freshman year I had a lot more friends and people to hang out with, but this year, now that I'm focusing more on myself and I'm not really trying to make a lot of friends, it's harder this year. When I'm alone in large crowds of people, I feel kind of awkward and like out of place, but when I'm with my friends, I feel fine.
Do you feel like your moods are constantly changing throughout the day?
They change sometimes constantly through like different, like what happens or like who's talking to me, or if someone's annoying me, then they just change.
Are you tired through most of the day?
Definitely by the end of the day, I'm like really tired and totally brain dead. Like as soon as I go home, I basically just go to bed. Definitely when I first wake up in the morning, I know that like this day is going to be tiring, and like, and I think about like what I have to do that day, and I like get anxious, and then my whole morning routine isn't really that great anyway, so I just get like anxiety from trying to get ready for the day.
Would you say an anxiety attack feels like? Like what does your body go through when that happens?
For me, an anxiety attack kind of feels like it's basically like the end of the world. Like I start shaking and like I start sweating uncontrollably, and like I cry, but like I don't, and I do this thing where I forget how to breathe, so I'll start like hyperventilating, and it kind of feels like I'm trapped, or just like it's just like super stressful, and it's like really hard to deal with, and I can feel it coming, so I'll feel like a burning sensation or something, like in like my chest, and I'm like, oh god, or like it tightens up, and I had to like start trying to calm myself a little bit more before it gets worse.
How do you know you're about to have one?
I know I'm about to have one when something happens. Usually it's like I make plans and they don't work out, and then I have to figure out a way, or just like something, it's usually something that causes it will tighten up, and my heart will start racing like really fast, and then I'll start breathing heavily, and then that's when I start like shaking, and then I have to like try and contain myself and control myself a little bit better. Sometimes they'll like start up and I'll calm myself like really fast and they won't last for very long. But there's other times when they've lasted for like hours, you know, so. I don't really like doing new things. It kind of depends, unless someone says like, oh, this is really funny, like you have to try it. But I usually don't like doing new things alone. I usually like doing it with other people that like tell me I should do this, but I usually like routines more. I was going to try out for an audition at a talent show. I would definitely feel, when I do like public stuff, my anxiety kicks in and I get this like feeling in my stomach and my throat tightens, and I like feel like I'm going to throw up, but I never usually do. So, but it's usually like stomach pains and like tummy not feeling good.
What places would you say you feel the most anxious? Are there places that make you feel anxious?
There are some places that make me feel anxious. Basically, movie theaters make me really anxious. I don't know why. Every time I walk into a movie theater, I get that feeling in my stomach. And then I start like feeling like I'm going to throw up, and then my heart starts racing. Large places, like if I'm going to a concert or like the fair, Yeah, mostly just like really public places. So much. It's like one of my favorite parts of the day. It's just, I say that because my bed is so comfortable and I can just lay in bed for like hours. The whole school day or just like the day itself just tires me out so much that I just try to sleep like as much as possible. Except sleeping is definitely escape from reality. During the day, I'm usually pretty fine. I feel like people with depression physically harm themselves because a lot of people with depression kind of hate themselves in a way. It also depends, but sometimes it feels good to hurt yourself, I guess. I feel like people that don't have depression or anxiety are really quick to judge it because they don't know how it feels. I know other people, when I have anxiety or depression, they don't know how to deal with it or deal with me, for example, but they just don't know what it feels like to be like that and like how, and some people just like their chemicals in their brain do that, like it's not a choice for them. So it's harder for other people to understand what it feels like, and so they're just so quick to judge that like, oh, you're fine, when really like it's just how my brain is working and I can't control it. Not helping you at all because it's not helping someone, but that's just the way they think and they think it's helping them. I've talked about it with like my doctor and stuff, and my mom, my dad, like my doctor, like don't want me to take medicines. They just want me to deal with it and learn how to control it. So I've been trying to control it, and when I jump to conclusions that make my anxiety really bad, I kind of just stop for a second and like I give myself at least like 10 minutes to just kind of calm down. And usually it works, but when I get into my depression phase, it's actually like really hard for me to get out of it until like I go to bed, or if something happens, I have to like get up and do something and kind of get my mind off of why I'm depressed, and sometimes I won't remember why I am, I just am. I don't really know why I'm sad, so I'm just gonna stare at this wall for 2 hours. Or just stare at the TV and not really comprehend what's going on. I kind of just sit there like lifeless for a little bit, and then I kind of just like snap out of it. It's like I need to go do something. Text one of my friends, they'd be like, dude, I'm super depressed, what do I, like, help me? And then they'll like say something really stupid and it'll like make me laugh, and then I feel like the worst thing about depression and anxiety is that no one really understands what it feels like, and it's really hard to get people to understand what it's like to go through it. And also when you talk about it to people, I don't want to feel like I'm talking to like a therapist, and people take it as, it's like when a kid has like a physical illness and you treat them differently. When you talk to someone about your anxiety and depression, they talk to you differently, and they make you seem so fragile. When I just like, I want someone to talk to. It's easier to judge people when they don't know the whole story. A lot of it's like not a choice. Like I don't choose to have anxiety and depression, it's just how I am. And I have to deal with it and learn how to control it. And some people don't realize how hard that can be.